Hello and welcome back to another Trickiness video. Today we are just going to be talking about a story. Um, this story happened on February 24th of 2021. It is something that I have made a few community posts about back then, about something that had happened, and I've just been like, back then when it happened, I was just like slowing down on making videos and stuff like that, and was just like decreasing by the day. But I finally want to tell you guys what had actually happened on that day. And before we get into the main story, I do want to tell you guys about like the thing that led up to this, what had happened that kind of like led up to the whole incident that happened at work. So, back in December, like mid-December, I think it was before Black Friday, I'm not really too sure. I just know it was sometime in the middle of it. It was December of 2020. We were working and there's this like one of my coworkers, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, he like did like 2 no call no shows, but he was also part-time. Like at the workplace I work at, you can normally just get away with it, but on Thursday, the supervisor had actually called everyone for like a meeting, which there's like maybe 11 or 12 of us working at the warehouse, and he said, I never thought I would have to receive one of these phone calls while being at work, but I have to tell you guys that your coworker, I'm not gonna say his name on camera, but your coworker has passed away. A wellness group went to his place yesterday, and they found that he passed away. And that was all the details we got. He said if we receive any more information on his passing, we will let you guys know about it. Other than that, that's all I really have to say on the matter. And then he dismissed us from the meeting. He said, all right guys, back to work. So that happened in December, and after that we just honestly didn't hear anything about it. Weeks went by, like nothing was told to any of us, and to be honest, I think a lot of people forgot about it. But finally in February on the 24th, my supervisor came up to me. Like for me, it was just a typical day. It was like maybe 9-10 o'clock ish. I was like wrapping pallets and stuff, and all of a sudden my supervisor came up to me and he's like, hey, we need to have a private meeting, like a private meeting. And he's like, yeah. I was like, oh, you mean like last time? He's like, well, kinda, but not really. We're not going to the same room, but we are going somewhere in the back. I was like, all right, I guess. So I followed him to the back. We went to the back, up some stairs. We went into like this big old empty carpeted room, and there's like a bunch of multiple like mini rooms and stuff. But we went to like the bigger of the smaller rooms. It just had carpet, there was chairs in it, and as I went in, there was a person sitting on a chair. It was a police officer. He was one of the few investigators on the police force, and he said, hello, please have a seat. So I sat down in a chair that was like 10 feet away from him. He had a face mask on. He also turned on his body cam. He said, don't worry, this body cam is on for your safety and for my safety, just in case if anything happens during the questioning. I was like, questioning? And he's like, yeah. Do you know why I have asked to see you? I was like, I have no idea. He's like, no worries. We will get to that soon enough. So he asked me for my name, like a bunch of like little details. He even asked like how long I worked at the workplace, which I've been there for like, if you add up all the time together, I've like worked at the place for like 8.5 years now. But then finally he got to the serious questions. He's like, all right, so I have asked to see you and to question you because you are the primary suspect in the case of your coworker's passing. I was like, what? He's like, do you know how he passed away? I was like, I have no idea. We were just told that he passed away in his apartment, and that's all we were told. He's like, well, he passed away from an overdose on a drug that like starts with a P. I forget how, like, what the name was altogether, but he said it was like laced with something, and it has been a problem in the the state and like the bordering states quite recently. But he said it was laced and it caused an overdose and he passed away from it. And that's kind of like the gist of like the whole passing. So then throughout the whole questioning thing, he kept hinting towards the idea of saying, well, if he kept hinting towards the idea of like, if I had refused to agree to the questioning, he would take me down to the police station and then question me while I was like in one of the interrogation rooms. There's like, he kept like hinting towards it over and over again. It wasn't just like, don't worry, you don't have to do the questioning if you don't want to. It was more like, you either do it or we do it downtown. And that was just the whole like questioning aroma, I guess. It was just like the whole air of like the room. He said, you do it or else, type of thing. And it was just weird because I've just never had anyone do that to me. I have never gotten into trouble. I haven't like had any bad experiences with like police force or anything like that. And it was just quite frightening for me. I honestly just had no idea what to do. He like, after he had like my name and stuff, he was like, how you must know something, you have to know something. I was like, know what? And he's like, everyone that I've questioned so far leads back to you. I was like, I don't talk to anyone. If you look at my phone logs, I've never called anyone in like the past couple months. And he's like, well, that's not according to the other people that I've questioned. They all said your name. They said it all leads back to you. Where did you get the drugs? I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never done drugs in my life. And he just kept going after and after it. He just kept like pursuing it, pressuring me, doing anything in this interrogation to get a confession out of an innocent man. And this whole questioning thing lasted for about 20 to 30 minutes. And it was just non-stop. It was question after question, just kept going, like coming after me non-stop. And I know while being questioned by the police, you can't like retaliate or anything like that, because then it would just go downhill super quick. So I stayed calm through it all. I was just taking deep breaths through it, because I was just like, I know I'm innocent. I have nothing to do with this. I am an innocent man being blamed for something that I have never done. So throughout the whole questioning, in my mind, I was like, I am apparently a suspect for a crime that would be considered as like manslaughter, murder, like those super high like titles, and I am not at all. I would never. So then after the questioning, he's like, well, that's all I have for you. Like he said, now if we find any of this stuff that you have told us, have said in this questioning, ends up being a lie, we will come to your house, we will handcuff you, we'll bring you down to the station, and then we'll repeat the questioning process again. I was like, everything I've told you is the truth. You won't find anything on me being a liar. And he's like, all right, good. Do you have any questions for me? And I've seen a lot of videos and stuff where if you ask the wrong question, it can just be pinned against you for whatever reason. So I was just like, nope, I'm good. I don't have any questions. He's like, all right, you can just go back to work. So I headed out. My supervisor walked back into the room, and I guess he had to go ask the officer for some like questions afterwards. So then afterwards, I went back to my spot. Went back to wrapping pallets and stuff. My supervisor came down to me and he asked me a really weird question out of the blue. He was like, so, are you Hispanic? I was like, Hispanic? He's like, yeah, are you by chance? I was like, no, I'm half Native American. I'm not Hispanic at all. I'm literally half Native American, half white. My dad was a full-blooded Native American. And he's like, oh. And then he just like walked away. And for like the next 2 days, I didn't hear anything. No one has told me anything. My supervisor just kind of like left me off like out in the like whole situation. He didn't even tell me anything until after I asked him on Friday. I was like, so how did this whole situation even like start? Because I feel like I have the right to know what exactly led up to this. And he sat there and he's like, well, this is what I've heard. Apparently someone in the HR or human resources department had like received the phone call or called the cops, and they were apparently looking for a Hispanic man. And that was like the only details that they had. And the HR human resources department person had said, yeah, there's one in the warehouse where that person that had passed away. There is one over there. And they pretty much just threw me under the bus. As to why, who knows? Maybe they wanted to play superhero, but they caused this whole incident for no reason. They like, in my eyes, they essentially sicked the cops on me. And why, who knows? And he had sat there, he had given me a name, possibly, of the person who had done the phone call and had like said it was me. So then on Monday, I had called the HR, like head of HR, because I wanted to have a one-on-one meeting. I sat there, I was just upset, furious about this whole situation, on how I was apparently like the whole implication. Apparently I'm like, according to the cops and according to this HR person that had like thrown me under the bus for this whole like situation, this whole crime thing, that I'm apparently a Hispanic drug dealer, according to this HR person, according to this cop, according to this whole thing. And I'm Native American. Like, what in the world? Like, if they even just like, HR could have just like looked at my files and said, nope, he's Native. Nope, they literally pointed the finger and just said, nope, he looks Hispanic. It's him. This is your guy right there. He works in that warehouse. You have to go question him right now. So then I went to the meeting. I was like, I want to file a corporate complaint against this person that I was given a name for, of the person who had caused this whole situation. he sat there, he didn't write anything down on the notebook. He was just like, um before I do that, I don't want to jump the gun on this. I want to get the whole like story and stuff on the situation, because 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 the the head of HR was like, I I know your parents. You are a good kid. You have worked for this company for quite a long time, and we as a company would never do this to you. We would never ever do this to you. And I am gonna get to the bottom of this. I know people in the police force, and I'm gonna get the whole story, and then I will get back to you eventually. So I waited and I waited. Tuesday passed by, Wednesday passed by, Thursday, Friday. Finally on Friday, I gave him a phone call asking, so did you find anything out? And the and the response that I got was, it sounded like it was like a planned speech. Like I didn't even get to like talk much. He like, it sounded like he was rushed. He was just like backing it, like he was trying to back out the whole like situation, saying like, yeah, so this pretty much never happened. This never even existed. And it made no sense, because he was like, so it was like a 3-minute speech. It was like something like, yeah, so the police officer had instigated this whole thing. The person that you're trying to file a complaint on wasn't even part of it. I don't even know how he even got the name. And the company had nothing to do with this. This was all the police officer's fault. Plus, they were only looking for a tall person with black hair, that was kind of like bigger, like more like on the hefty side. And that was the only description that we got. And the police officer had actually called the company instead of the other way around. And I was like, all right. And I remember I had given a call out to the police officer a couple days before I had called back to the head of HR to get his response. And so I was waiting on a call back from the police officer. I think it was about Tuesday or Wednesday of the following week, I finally got a call back. He said, yeah, hi, sorry for not getting to you right away. The phone, like the whole phone system has been kind of wonky, and with COVID and everything and all stuff like that, I've just been like going through my voicemail today, and I've just been getting it all caught up. And since you had called, I'm just giving you a call back, just because that's what would be expected if you left a voicemail. So I'm calling you back. I was like, hi. So I have a few questions about that incident on the 24th. And he's like, all right, you can ask me anything. I was like, all right. So, were you the one that called the workplace? And he's like, yep, I called the workplace. I was the one who instigated the whole like thing, essentially, is what he was like getting to. And then I was like, all right, like, what was the description of the suspect that you were looking for? He was like, the thing about the description was I was going off of the victim's like friends. His friends had always like told the police officer that their friend, the one that passed away, had always mentioned this like character that was a Hispanic, like just a Hispanic friend. Like they didn't give any descriptions, they didn't even give a name. They just said that it was this Hispanic friend, and that's all he got. So I was like, so you were just looking for someone who was Hispanic? And he was like, yep, that's all I had to work with. I no other details, no nothing. It was just apparently a person that the victim had worked with, and he had identified him as Hispanic, and he just told his friends that it was a Hispanic friend that was like hooking him up with drugs. I was like, all right. And if you go back to what the head of HR had actually said, they said that they were looking for a tall male with black hair, kind of on the hefty side, like the bigger side. So that means they lied. The police officer was looking for only a Hispanic person. He was looking specifically for a Hispanic person. And he said he had called the company and they had said, yeah, there's someone that matches the description that you're looking for. They actually work in the same warehouse. And then that's where the whole altercation happened, where I was just tossed. After 8.5 years, I was tossed under the bus for no reason. They could have just looked at my files and said, hey, never mind, he's Native American. He's not Hispanic at all. Instead, the police officer was just given the answer, nope, there's someone that matches the description. You should definitely go question him. Just call this person. So then he just pursued it. It was just like, it was the only information I got from the victim's friends, and it's all I had to go off of. So I'm sorry that I had to question you, but I was just following protocol. But overall, I've had a lot of stuff happen to me at work, and this is definitely one of those things where the workplace where I work at has just lost all my trust. They've just honestly lost it all, just because they've lied to me. Like, over the years, they honestly always lie. They always lie about a lot of things. And this one is just kind of disheartening because one of their HR like personnels had racially profiled me for being Hispanic. I honestly felt like I was being discriminated against. It was just so terrible. Like, even on top of that, that person had even accused me of being someone that would be identified as a person that would that would do a crime as high as like manslaughter, murder, or in any of those like high tense titles for a crime. And I would never do that. And it's just terrible, especially with things going on nowadays about discrimination and stuff. It's just not right at all. But that is essentially all that happened at my workplace on the February 24th. I didn't want to like talk about it. I didn't really want to like post a video about it just because of anything that might happen. I haven't gone out to, or I haven't like pursued the case at all, just because I wasn't too sure if it was even like a case that would be able to go to court. Also, if you guys did not know, I do have a disability as well. I'm pretty sure some of you guys have actually already heard about it. I was born with Klinefelter's. So like for the case itself, I guess that would be one like point, but other than that, I don't know. I'm not too familiar to the whole like court cases and stuff. I do see like a few videos, but I don't know. It like the whole situation is just like terrible. Like I just don't get it. I just don't understand why my workplace would do something like that, especially after 8.5 years of working there. I put in so many hours only just to be tossed, and it just that very idea just does not sit well with me at all. I I just don't even know anymore. Eventually, I do plan on leaving the workplace because of the whole incident, because I've had a lot of nonsense happen to me there, and this one's just like over the top. I just don't even know. But at least I told you guys about what had actually happened on the 24th. If you guys look back on the community post, I do mention it, that I did plan on making a video. I'm also sorry about how long of a video that this is. Also, do you guys see the background? This is one that I use for Twitch streaming. It's just on the just chatting thing. Honestly, I like this just because of the whole zombies moving and stuff. But I don't know. I'm honestly just rambling, and sorry if I stutter a lot. It's just on like certain words and like sentences, I always have troubles of like saying the word and trying to like proceed with like the next word after. It's just something that I'm like trying to get past it and trying to get like stop doing it, but it's just really hard for me. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's story time. Like I said, I'm sorry about it being so long. But be sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos. Probably not more storytime videos, just because these tend to be super long and I would just get carried away with the details. Like the video, comment down below any other games you guys want me to go check out. I'll try my best. But I'll see you guys all in the next one, and have a great rest of your day. See ya.